You ask any successful person, they gonna tell you they lost more times than they won.
The Empire.
You know? It's just that they wins was so big, you don't look at they losses, you know?
Well, I mean, you come from the home of the 40s and the Short Dogs.
Definitely.
And I mean, they pretty much fathered everybody in their area to follow that independent, you know, do-it-yourself way of moving.
Definitely. You know, Too Short is personally my godfather. So the tutelage that I gained from him by being with him every day and talking to him and associates of watching his grind for over these years, it's phenomenal to be able to witness a living legend, you know, actually continuing to keep going and trailblazing a road that is uncharted.
Isn't it amazing to see him like now at this age? And I mean, I think hip hop is very fickle when it comes to their legends and letting them come and go. That you see him with a Wiz Khalifa and have a hit record, you know what I mean, with him now. You know, it's Too Short at this age. Like when you see that, like, isn't it like
it's a blessing? You know, he's the first of his kind. When you look at guys like Jay-Z and you look at guys like E40 and Too Short, those are guys over their 40s, but that are very much so relevant. You know, Jay-Z is like, he's in a league of his own, you know, so you know,
I feel like he's the king.
Yeah, it's unfair. But when you look at a person like Too Short, and you look at his catalog, and you look at his resume, and what he's been able to embody over these years, there's no artist on this earth that has done what he's done. And what I say by that is, there's no artist that can say that they have a song with Biggie, that they have a song with Jay-Z, that they have a song with Pac, you know, Scarface, Puffy, Lil' Kim, 50 Cent, T.I.
There's no legend that doesn't, like, respect him. Like, you know what I mean? Pimp C called him his big homie, you know what I mean?
There's nobody, like I said, there's no artist alive that can say that they've ever recorded with Tupac, Jay-Z, and Biggie Smalls, and to stunt a little more on their albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no artist that has done that, and he doesn't get the credit for that, but nor does he look for it. He just is in his own lane. You know, he always told me, he said, you got two hands, man, and you could do your own handwork and your shaking, your networking, but most of all, you can pat your own self on the back.
I think there's always been some type of controversy or something going on with you, and I don't know why. It seems like you've always been in the thick of things, whether it has been beef, whether it's been your political stances, whether it's been the whole V Nasty situation. I mean, why do you think, for some reason, that type of energy kind of gravitates towards you sometimes?
Controversy is king, and when you align yourself with that, unfortunately, you deal with a lot of speculations and assumptions, and a lot of people never really can formulate an idea of you without personally meeting you. So what they do is they start spinning the rumor mill. And when you constantly do that, you become the center of that energy. You become the center of negative energy. And people will actually act like they will avoid the positive things you do and highlight the negative things, you know, that you may be involved in or may be involved around. I gave a metaphor earlier when I was speaking with someone. I was like, yo, no matter what Martin Luther King and put his life on the line for the civil rights movement and everything that he did, there will always be people that say, yo, well, he cheated on his wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no matter what Malcolm X stood for and what he represented in the later years of his life, there will always be people who will be like, yo, he was a pimp and a purse snatcher, and, you know, and Detroit Red. It was like, come on now.
That leads me to your progression as an artist. I think the first perception of Mistah F.A.B is just what was this Hyphy, when the Hyphy movement was going crazy. You know what I mean? And I think they lost the perception of content. And now, watching you grow and watching the way your direction you've taken your music now, it seems like you've gone more towards the content, and you're kind of like conscious, almost backpack rap, but still have that, you know what I mean, West Coast, Bay Area flow to it.
Life is about evolution, but the main importance of it is revolving and evolving, and constantly the 360 if we continue to circle. And in the beginning of my career, when I first started off, I started off as a backpack rapper who would just go around battling cats, and they would always have battles, and I would battle rap, and I began to be coined as someone that can just battle, I can't make songs. As demographically our movement progressed and people began to become familiar with Bay Area music and the Bay Area sound at that time, which later became known as the Hyphy movement. I became the poster child for that. then I later became coined as someone who just makes party music and, you know, and raps about this and goofy and whatever other words that they may have used to describe what was actually going on in the streets that music authored. As that has been laid to rest, and there is no particular sound to Bay Area music or whatever it may be, now what I have to survive off, and all I have to survive off, is my natural artistry and my creativity and my talent. People are actually focusing now, like, okay, I can't constantly keep saying he's doing this and he's doing that. I really have to listen now. What looks as and appears to be an overnight success took years to happen. You know, and the people that are outside the house, they can only look through the window, but they don't know what's actually going on. You know, you can smell the food, but you don't know what's actually cooking. And I've been grinding for years, man. I'm almost 10 years in the game right now. I'm turned 30 next year, and it's a blessing, man, to be able to say, yo, I've really had a 10-year career thus far, and there's been ups, there's been downs, but there's been consistency, and the consistency is saying, no, I'm still here. Everything that I've done in music could never amount to what I do in my community, for the stand that I take in my community, and when I'm always on the front line for my people. And that's what constantly keeps me going. And I say to anyone that may be going through some things in life, yes, it may be humbling, and yes, it may be strenuous, and yes, it may be seeming as if it's a long road to travel, but the distance traveled through pain, you will equate through success.
Never quit, never ever would I settle up. Hopped in my grind car, mashed on the pedal, bruh. Couldn't take a no, so I went hard till I heard yes. Same clothes for days, was dirty just to be fresh.